call Mr. Colum Eastwood.
Mr. Principal Deputy Speaker, one of the founding values of the European Union was to respect human dignity. I think we are all, as Europeans, failing to respect the human dignity of these refugees. It is a catastrophe, a disgrace that we have hundreds of thousands of people searching for sanctuary and not able, in many cases, to find it. I think we are all, in that regard, responsible. It is very unfortunate that it took the image of young Aileen Curdy to shock us into action when we've had so many people being either drowned or, thankfully, some of them being rescued in the Mediterranean Sea over the last number of years. It has, though, shaken us into action. And I think ordinary people, ordinary communities, churches and all types of organisations want to act, want to help. But they cannot help without our governments putting their shoulder to the wheel and doing what is right. Because as some of the richest countries in the world, we need to be there to help people who are suffering some of the most brutal conditions possible to imagine. But we are also responsible, Mr. Principal Deputy Speaker, because we have sent bombers, we have sent troops to some of these countries, and we have destroyed these countries. We have left people with no option but to flee. And whether it's the evil of ISIS or Assad or Saddam Hussein or the stupidity of Western powers in trying to interfere where they don't understand. Of course, a couple of years ago, if the British Prime Minister had had his way, we would have been intervening in Syria as well. And the people who would have been the beneficiaries of that intervention would, of course, have been ISIS. So until we understand these issues, I think Western powers need to be very careful about how they act and they respond. But we now have an opportunity to respond in a humanitarian way, and I don't think that the British Prime Minister is meeting his obligations in that regard at all. And I would ask the First Minister, I know he's just told us that there will be no executive meetings unless there's exceptional circumstances. I would count this as an exceptional circumstance. We saw the First Minister of Scotland out last week willing to do their bit. I would ask that the First Minister convene a meeting of the executive as a matter of urgency to find out how this executive and how this part of the world can actually play a role in helping some of these people survive the most brutal of conditions. And I hope that the First Minister will hear that call. Thank you.